Welcome back to Ferris Sports Update. Time to check in with women's basketball, joined by head coach Kurt Westendorp. And Coach, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
Obviously, your team off to a great start, undefeated on the season and ranked number 7 in the country. And I know that's important for the program. Rankings don't mean a whole lot, but obviously great recognition for what your team's already accomplished.
Yeah, hopefully we can improve upon that ranking as we get closer to March and then make some noise in March, because that's what really matters. But what you said was correct. Like, it's a great recognition for the hard work that these girls have been putting in. You know, the work that really every player that's been in our program for the past 4 or 5 years has been kind of building to the point where we can get a recognition right now that, like you said, is the best in school history. And we just want to keep building and growing off of it.
Obviously, you had a break over the Thanksgiving holiday and then back into action this past week. Just one game against Spring Arbor on Wednesday night, but nice to be back at home playing your first home game of the year.
Absolutely. Now, before that, the Thanksgiving break was really nice too. So it was nice that our girls were able to kind of take a few days off, spend some time with the family, come back rested and recharged. And we also came out a little rusty as well. But it was nice to be back at Wink Arena, get in front of the home fans. Like you said, they kind of gained a little bit of that inspiration. I feel like we played really hard. We just didn't play very sharp, a whole lot of the game. But we got off to a great start. Our defense did a great job of turning our defense into offense in that first quarter. And as the game went on, we really played better and better offensively, and just defensively, Spring Arbor presented some big-time challenges for us, being, they're a top 25 team in the NAIA. So we knew they'd give us some challenges, and it was nice to just have a game like that we could knock off a little bit of that rust against a quality opponent, and most importantly, keep our winning ways going.
As we go to the highlights of the game, obviously you mentioned your team coming off the Thanksgiving holiday and had about a 2-week break here kind of between games since your last contest.
Yeah, a little bit of a scheduling quirk. We would have loved to have been at home playing a little bit earlier, but sometimes that's just the way things work out. But it was nice to see us just kind of pick up where we left off from the Northwood game with the 10-0 start in this game. So that was a real nice beginning for us. We got really good quality shots. Like you see right here, we're kind of turning our defense into our offense. We're able to get the floor spaced a little bit better as we got a few possessions into the game. Chloe right there really in rhythm. She's a big-time threat for us with some of the inside-outside. And I felt like once we really settled into like really good spacing and really good ball movement, our quality of shots really improved in this game. You hear Kenzie Bowers, again, good rhythm, got her feet under you, knocking it down, whereas a couple of the shots earlier in the game, we kind of rushed, which is kind of, you kind of expect that when you're coming off a little bit of a layoff as you're trying to find that game rhythm. But for the most part, we did a really good job settling in, moving the ball. And once we were starting to get the looks that we wanted, we really started to see things falling.
So Caden Blanchard with the rebound right there. How much does it help having her back? Maya Hiram back in the lineup after they were gone last year?
Well, they're definitely both impact kids. Caden coming in the starting lineup, and Maya's been coming off the bench for us, just giving us a little bit more depth and versatility. Caden right there taking the charge provides us with so much toughness, ability, as you see here, to go a little bit inside, a little bit outside. I think a little bit later on, she does a nice job kind of hitting from the outside, but we know we can use her in a variety of different ways. And having Maya in just gives us another low post scoring threat. I think in this game, I can't remember the exact stats, but we know that in the second half, we really were able to go inside to her, inside to Chloe, have an opportunity to play that inside-out basketball and have that balance that this team really needs to have, because we can't be a one-dimensional just shooting from the outside or just Chloe on the inside. We give our opponents a lot of tough matchups that they have to deal with, and it's our job to do a better job, as we work through the season as coaches, is putting them in those right positions and being able to identify those advantages.
Obviously, you had the 15-point lead at halftime, able to extend that lead, but then you knew Spring Arbor was a good team, and they battled back trying to make it a ball game here, and able to cut it down around 10 or 11 points here a couple times.
Well, like I said, they're a top 25 NAIA team. They're a team that's used to winning. Like, teams that are used to winning don't just roll over. So, like, when the scoreboard was in our favor at a good little margin, they did a good job displaying their heart, displaying their toughness. Offensively, they run a system that's kind of hard for us to guard. There were a lot of 5-out things. Their post-ups were coming more on back downs than they were out of true post-ups. And they have, a potential NAIA All-American in Alana Nelson. And she had a great game for them. She was able to take us a little bit inside. Here she's taking us on the outside. She got herself to the free throw line. It was a tough matchup that we had to keep working through. Luckily, our offense kept things rolling. We were able to keep scoring the basketball as they were scoring the basketball. And it was a really fun offensive game for the fans to watch, kind of pulling our hair out a little bit as a defensive mindset. But we were able to do a decent job just of withstanding the runs that they were able to keep making. And able to still kind of eke out that finish and still win by 15, still win comfortably, but also understanding that, okay, that was a quality opponent that we just played, and we knew it was going to be a kind of game like that. And I'm glad that Spring Arbor, took on the challenge of coming up and playing us. A lot of teams, haven't been willing to come up and play us at our own gym. But the fact that they can, it kind of shows why they're a program that's really on the come up in NAIA.
How much does it help having maybe that steady veteran presence, Mallory McCartney, Chloe Idoni, some of those players that have been around for a while when it really comes to crunch time at the end of a ball game?
We talk a lot about our word this year for our team that we're trying to emphasize is moment, and staying in that moment. And what does the moment require? And sometimes we have a younger team, you don't know what the moment requires because you've never been in it before. But having that veteran group, they've been in these situations before where they've had big leagues, teams have come back on them and they understand, okay, this is what it takes the next possession. All right, this is what it takes the possession after that. So they're able to kind of huddle up the team, as captains, Mal, Chloe, and Caden. They kind of huddle up that team, talk about what needs to happen next, and really keep that focus on the next play and not letting themselves get mentally rattled like you can see happen with a lot of younger teams.
Obviously, this week, play steps up here as you start GLIAC play at Purdue Northwest, coming up on Thursday in Westville, Indiana, and then at Parkside on Saturday.
Yep, going on the road to get things started. So 2 quality opponents, teams that we had really good games with last year. We beat Purdue up in both occasions, but they're both really good contests. They got a real good inside-outside punch. They got Dash Shaw on the perimeter. Mercedes Simmons does a great job in the low post. And Parkside has a lot of new pieces, but they still have Patty Galasava. They still have a great point guard, Sheridan Flauger. They're coming off one of their better seasons. So they got a lot of new faces, but they're also a quality opponent that beat us twice last year. I know we got the better of them in the conference tournament, but we're going to be motivated to go in there.
Obviously, these 2 games and then a big regional game against the number 1 team in the country in Ashland before the Christmas holiday.
Try not to look too far ahead on that one, Rob. So we're trying to stay focused on this week, focus on the GLIAC play, but we know that game's out there. We scheduled that one because they're a team that's willing to play anybody. So we scheduled that game knowing that, okay, that's the kind of the team that's kind of set the standard for our region. That's a team that we know that if we want to keep playing in March and make it even beyond what this school has done before, we're going to have to go through them. So it'll be a nice test for us, but we want to get through this week with GLIAC. We got finals we got to get focused on. As soon as finals are done, we'll turn our attention to Ashland, and that'll be a great contest.
Well, Coach, thanks for the time, and best of luck as you start GLIAC play on the road this weekend.
All right, thank you, Rob.
That'll do it for Ferris Sports Update. A reminder, you can follow all the action and get all the results online at ferrisstatebulldogs.com. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back second semester with more of Ferris Sports Update.